German audio colleagues. We're going to get away with that one?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Good. Okay. We like to mix things up a little. Well, I say we. Sean likes to mix things up a little bit. So the mix-up this week is that our mediocre plugin review isn't, in fact, about a plugin. It is mediocre, but it's about a piece of hardware. So, Sean, could you introduce?
I could. We thought it might be quite interesting to look at some hardware which is at a similar price point to plugin. And you might be thinking, maybe I'm going to do some hybrid mixing and go out of the box a bit. So we're going to look at a few pieces that are of a similar price to plugins. We're starting with the Golden Age Project Comp 3A, which I bought, I think, about 3 or 4 years ago. It's basically a clone of the famous Universal Audio LA3A, which was an interesting development for them. Early days, one of their first compressors uses an optical compression circuit combined with a solid state circuit as well. So you're kind of getting the compression from an LA2A mixed with the sound of an 1176 compressor, which is kind of like two of the best things ever smashed together in one box. So I used the real one of this lots when I started my career, and I loved it. But then it moved on to other things, and then when I saw that I could afford to get a clone, I thought, I'm getting it. And it's been amazing.
So you heard this before you bought it? You went in, ran some stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not much, usual playing around in the shop. I just knew it reacted roughly the same way. I didn't really get to know it until I got it home and started mixing with it. I had a big mix project on. I was mixing an album and I wanted to go out of the box and do some hybrid stuff. So this and a couple of other bits were in the chain for that.
Cool. And what do you use it for mainly?
I've been using it exclusively for vocals up till now. I've only had one, and I've been running vocals through it. And it does exactly what the LA3A did. It just gives it that beautiful, warm, analogy sound. There's no attack and release controls. It's totally program dependent. So you've literally got gain and then reduction, and that's kind of it. There's various different switches for setting the amount of input and output and all the rest of it, and you can change the circuit to how it reacts. So it's got like a flat to HF control on it, which just dials in what it reacts to. But yeah, it's a beautiful sounding plugin. It works. Plugin. So used to plugins. It's a beautiful sounding piece of hardware. It just works, and it's really interesting not having the attack and release controls, because it sort of does the right thing depending on what's going into it. But yeah, famously good for vocals. I've used it on bass a couple of times, sounded good on that. But a pair of these would sound pretty amazing on a parallel drum bus or on overheads. That's one of the things people have always gone on about. How good.
Okay. So you've had your chance. I can see here it's 420 quid.
Yeah.
You just said you're going to get two of them, Sean. That's 840 English pounds.
It is.
How often do you get the sort of 90% discount you get on plugins on these?
You don't.
Okay.
You don't.
So assuming you could get a stereo, what's the best sort of software version of this that we've reviewed?
We haven't done a software review of an LA3A. There's not loads of them. Waves do one, and I'm pretty sure that Universal Audio, who make the original hardware, do one.
Are they?
No.
840 times?
No, they're not. No, they're not that kind of money. My reasoning is I already had one. I've had it a few years.
You want a second one?
A second one is only going to cost me another 420 quid, and then I'll have a stereo pair. That's a lot more flexible for me. I do hybrid mix. I have a few bits of hardware that I go out of the box for. That's my... I like working that way. I love plugins. I think there's some amazing plugins that do sound analog, and some of them are nailing it. But to actually go out through a piece of analog, there's a couple of things. One, it's real, it's hands-on.
I'm not happy about this. Hold on. We're plugin reviewers.
We are.
So when I say, is it a shit plugin?
Yeah.
The answer is, well, yes, it is, because it's not a plugin.
On that basis, it's a shit plugin.
It's shit. It's a shit plugin.
And it's too expensive for a plugin.
Yeah, it's way expensive.
But there's a few things you have to consider with hardware. This I bought some years ago for that money. I can still sell it for a decent amount of money now. And in 10, 20 years time, I will still be able to do that. All these plugins that we own now, as much as we love them and as much as they're worth the money, they're not going to be worth any money. You can't really resell them in 10, 20 years time.
But we're already saying that plugins are sonically superseding the things that have gone before them. And this is a fairly blunt instrument. Yes, it does does a thing.
True.
But there's nothing to say that there's not already a bit of software that does it as good as, if not better, and it's unlikely that it's going to not be superseded in the future.
100% true. Yeah, I think there is definitely some plugins out there that sound as good, if not better, than the hardware. 100% there are. We've looked at a few. But there's still, a part of my job that I really enjoy is getting hands-on with real stuff sometimes, and not much. I don't want a large format console. It's too expensive, too much of a pain, recall, all those issues. But every now and again, I want something real to grab hold of and to mess with in the real world. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it's a different way of working, and at the end of the day, you've got to enjoy what you do. And sometimes messing with real gear is fun.
Well, people don't hate on us. We're pushing the boundaries. We're exploring. We're getting outside the box, literally outside the box.
Exactly that. And the other thing is you've got to look at an original one of these would cost a fortune. So this, for something which I think sounds bang on,
It's like, yeah,
that's a good price.
yeah.
And
So an original copy of the original.
yeah, well, you can still buy the Universal Audio ones. They're
Yeah.
still making them.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know how much they are. It's a lot. It'll be a few thousand.
Okay. All right. So Sean,
Yeah.
for the benefit of the doubt,
Yes. The Golden Age Project Comp 3A.
that you're just about to buy another one of,
Yeah.
is it shit?
No. It's
No, of course it isn't, because otherwise you wouldn't be buying another one.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful bit of kit. I'm not advocating dump your plugins and just buy hardware, but use both.
We'd be interested in your comments about whether you want us to look at some more hardware bits and pieces. We do have some stuff that we're interested in talking about, so do let us know. Whilst you're doing that, subscribe to the channel and
Do that. And hit the notification bell, and then when we're talking about things that are nothing to do with our channel, you'll know.
look forward to hearing your comments.
See ya.